That's right, yeah. It'll be a safe lane.
Yeah, the Void Spirit Bloodseeker matchup, we learned about this yesterday. We saw the Void Spirit get picked into the Bloodseeker, and back when Void Spirit was an int hero, you'd usually see like Witchblade Kaya type builds, and during Rupture he would just die. But yesterday we saw a Echo Saber Sange Void Spirit who was not dying during Rupture, because Astral Step isn't protected from Rupture like Ball Lightning and Remnant from Ember. So Void Spirit of all the spirits does suffer against Bloodseeker, but I don't think this matchup is nearly as bad, if bad at all, compared to what it used to be.
That DK ban is so good, because that's exactly what XG needed. They needed that strong, sturdy mid laner to have an instant stun for the Spirit. And the thing about that Void Spirit yesterday, who wasn't dying to Bloodseeker, that Void Spirit was playing against 0 stuns. So there was no follow-up on the damage that was happening to him, and he was able to get out. So while the matchup did get better, so long as you have a means to catch this hero, he's still punishable by Seeker. And I imagine they're just gonna ban out any kind of stun remaining on the side of Liquid now.
Paparazzi's other stunning mid was Tiny. They think that's high.
I like that. I think they need an assassin type hero is what I would call it. Somebody to jump the back lines. Caudle and Oracle being the best targets. Whenever you're playing Oracle, you kind of have a big target on your back. Every fight they're going to want to start on you.
And I thought that was a bit masochistic from Insania that he would want to play Oracle every game, because these type of heroes, Oracle, Dazzle, Wyvern, like you're just screaming, "Go on me first!"
I hate playing Oracle in pubs. Your teammates just bait you.
Your teammates overextend, allow the enemy to wrap behind, and just burst you instantly. Where's my Oracle?
On paper, it's good because there's just so much to purge, right? Outside of dissuading the Bat Rider, which looked great. You can purge the track, you can purge the Frost Armor, you can purge the silence from Bloodseeker on any of the targets that do get silenced.
You have healing as well.
Most of Monkey King's bad matchups are, like you said, Bat Rider Quap, like heroes with purgeable kiting slows. So I think a lot of it has to do with good against what they already saw, and it covers like all the bases of securing, like since they have the response picks on Xtreme, we have to make sure this Monkey King is protected.
What do you combo with? Puddle in the off lane versus Bloodseeker Lich. That's a pretty tough lane, right?
Yeah, definitely is. You might do the lane shove strat. That
makes sense.
Was it you talking about that yesterday? Was that...
Yeah, full. I'm sure it's not a. Everyone talks about that.
Yeah, you can just avoid laning for the most part. I'm just thinking about what hero would do that best.
Brew is a cool ban. Liquid doesn't really have any team fight right now.
Zai himself played Bat Rider if you think it's viable for Liquid.
It will get run down by this Bloodseeker Lich
rough against
relentlessly is the issue.
What can kind of stand there and tank a Frost Blast plus Bloodright?
Well, I took out 2 of the heroes that could.
Surely there's one more.
Surely.
I
mean, you could just rush for the game.
Necro!
I think that hero gets punished too, to be honest.
I'm honestly so down for Necro.
Yeah, it's BSJ's favorite hero.
This is the hero I said I would play. And you know, he's probably not going to do it now because it got nerfed. But the first game of Dream League on the new patch, Zai rushed Boots of Travel 2 on Necrophos and would just travel on top of his mid laner and Reapers people whenever it was available. And I thought that was, even if it's bad now because of the nerf, it was one of the funniest like conceptualizations of optimizing like an immobile hero like Necro. But what I like about Necro here is that even if they can burst him, he synergizes really well with Oracle because you make him take no magic damage with Oracle's Fate's Edict. Another thing about that is they buffed Fate's Edict so that it no longer disarms allies. So now a hero like Monkey King, who in the past hated getting Fate's Edict because you'd be screaming at your Oracle to let you hit people, can now operate with his full kit despite these defensive spells. So what do you think of this puck pick, Mira?
I like it. I think that this Necro pick was very clever in that it took away the Tiny from XG, which looked perfect for them. But the puck does what you want it to do, right? It takes advantage of the track. It's a target that can jump. It gives you coil for the Void Spirit. But now I don't think puck is enough of an answer for the Necro. So both of the drafts look pretty well-rounded this time around, but the Oracle Necro synergy is something really scary when you don't have overwhelming amounts of magic damage coming out early on.
A lot of pressure on Zai to perform here, you think?
I think it's more so pressure on Paparazzi to do as much as he can on the side of XG, right?
I feel like he can just farm and go late game. We saw was it Kiyos, depressed kid? What's that? I don't know how you say it. Kiyotaka kind of carried on Puck the other with Ramses playing that Slardar. I think if Puck gets that amount of farm, there's not really a lot of lockdown for him, so he could carry the game.
The question is, do you guys think Necro will die to the Bloodseeker Lich Lane?
That's exactly what I wanted to touch on. Is I'm concerned about Necro level 1 and 2, and I'm thinking that Kaka could easily just kind of camp that lane for the first couple waves, and maybe Zai becomes a bit of a liability. So I'm really looking for that early first 2 minutes. Like, how much does Xtreme look to punish this Necro? In tandem, how much does Mickey and Insania like counter punish the Underlord? And I think whichever one of the teams comes out on top could spell like a lot of who wins the.
What about the pipe too? There's a lot of factors here to think about for sure.
Many calculations are being run right now. And earlier we saw Aster get a 2-0 against Spirit. Will we see continued Chinese superiority, or Liquid gonna fight back? Let's find out for game number 2 with Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Thanks, Tsunami. Yeah, this is, I mean, unfamiliar territory for Liquid. They're against the ropes already.
And it's not against Gaming Gladiators.
And yeah, that used to be their kryptonite, but it seems everything's their kryptonite these days with this new patch. It's hard to decipher exactly what you want to do. Is Kaka already going to get caught out?
Missing first blood this time.
Bloodright is there, but
it's
do
not
they have enough to actually find it? There's the blood grenade, and the last right click from Boxy is enough. And DY looks like he might be next. Mickey picks that one up. Already 2 quick kills for Liquid.
All right.
So that is quite the contrast from last game.
First blood?
Wait, who got first blood last game, actually?
Boxy got it this game. Last game it was Zai.
Oh,
on the Mag.
That's right. So it's kind of the same then.
So, yep, they got a little bit of a primary boost on the Caudle, but also a decent amount going the way of Mickey, which I honestly think is arguably, I mean, first blood is still the bigger kill, but the kill bounty on the Monkey King is going to set him off to a really good start against Underlord. This lane matchup is already bad for Underlord, but now you factor in that Mickey will have extra gold. He'll start now with Orb of Venom and Coiling Blade, and he will also be closer to level 2 by 40 experience, which pretty much equates to an extra melee creep that you just have from the first wave when you begin. It might sound like small things, but sometimes these little differences can lead to insane advantages in lane. Like maybe you get level 2 at the perfect time because you got the first blood, and it gives you second kill, and things can start rolling. Kaka will do whatever he can here to be very annoying to Mickey. Bounty Hunter obviously exceptionally strong at trading on level 1 against melee heroes, and Mickey just seems very uninterested in fighting back.
Yep, especially considering his balanced strike, so can't really
he doesn't
reciprocate with the Jingu, but once he's level 2, that won't be as much of a thing. Get to see Void Spirit versus Puck mid. Kind of a older school matchup, I guess. How does this usually go in past patches?
I feel like it's mostly been a wash. I want to say the lane is pretty even. Void Spirit, against most heroes that aren't like true melee hero dominators, Void Spirit will just find farm, right? At the same time, it's also hard to truly pressure the Puck by nature of it being a ranged hero, having 2 escapes, and I think you can even, depending on how well you throw out the Aether Remnants, you can obviously dodge them with Phase Shift if you do choose to skill that at some point, and then just have it hit a creep. Nisha so far good harass there onto Paparazzi with the full spell combo to at least get something going his way. Now, what the panel talked about was the first thing that came to mind for me as well with this last pick Necro was, okay, what are they going to do to bully Zion lane? Because technically, if you bring Bounty Hunter over here and you play this as a tri-lane with the Bloodseeker, you can. Necro is a very susceptible hero on level 1.
Oh boy, yep, Bloodright's there, and he's already going to die. Silence up, they want to give the kill to Ghost, and he gets it successfully. And Necro, the first couple levels can be kind of rough, honestly.
Yep. Bounty Hunter is one of the S-tier heroes at doing this as well. So you just invis, you go through the gate, the enemy team never truly knows which lane you're in. Now the trade-off will clearly be that JT will not have a fun time either, because every time Bounty Hunter leaves bottom, Mickey as well as Insani can put a lot of pressure onto this Underlord who has to rush boots to stay afloat, so it will be a slower Vanguard for JT. Has to get that move speed to handle Mickey's pressure. Mickey in turn will get his own boots flying out now to equalize.
Just this change to the Shadow Walk that we've seen time and time again this patch, being able to stun right out of it, sets up a lot of stuff, which in this lane can lead to several kills.
Saw him there.
If Liquid are not careful.
Kaka didn't fog, so they know he's here.
Doesn't matter though. Bloodright's gonna connect again. You can see even the shield doing a considerable amount of damage. I will live, but takes heavy punishment.
This lane should change quite drastically when Caudle hits level 3, or sorry, Necro hits level 3. If he skills Shroud, he can just offset a lot of the pressure. He could also go 2 in the heal. As long as Blinding Light is up, I think they have protection. And they're really
Going on top of Zai again, and this one will lead to a kill. It was too easy. Xtreme. We'll see how Zai can bounce back. I mean, he got off to a pretty good start last game, but just wasn't able to find his footing as the Magnus.
He definitely can't be surprised that this is happening.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a pretty expectable thing for Xtreme Gaming to do here, and it's obviously a calculated risk every time he walks forward. He knows he is at the mercy of the enemy team being 3 heroes here. All the trade-off, like once again, like JT isn't doing too hot bottom either.
They spot Insania making his transition over as well. He's gonna get cross blasted. Illuminate comes out from Boxy, so doing some damage to DY, but Insania is... Okay, they get that one first, but Insania does die. Kaka, they don't have the vision. So,
well worth it for Liquid there. I think it's really important for them to get Zai this kill and get him up to that level 3 now. Let's see, he will skill 2 in the Death Pulse for now, so I'm assuming Shroud will be coming out at level 4.
Kaka, one more right click.
Get him!
Okay.
That sentry.
Very nicely done. And that, it's funny, that sentry was up earlier, and Insania pretended not to see him, and that ends up resulting in a kill here, so... Nice little mind games coming out. This is another lane where, or another hero in Necro that the Lotus flowers are extremely important on, at least I would imagine.
Amazing
once
on this
the
hero,
Ghost comes out.
absolutely. Gets added value.
Okay. Pretty heavy damage, but gonna get those Jingu stacks up again.
1-1-2. I think he's probably going to go 1-1-3 as well.
Sure.
Considering you're playing against a melee hero and a melee 4, this seems too good to pass up on getting more points into this. Still needs to show a bit of respect here. We'll get the phase boots. Very aggressive here. Against that Underlord wants to have the movement speed advantage, so he can keep chasing him down. But with Bounty Hunter in the neighborhood, he doesn't want to truly contest the Underlord too much just yet.
And what do you think of the Oracle pick? Obviously,
He's
this is
destroying mid, I just realized.
34-12 versus the Paparazzi 25-0. Yeah, that's a lot of denies.
Yeah, maybe my read on this lane is wrong. Maybe Nisha is just playing the better lane than Paparazzi here. I do feel like on a theoretical level, this lane doesn't go this one-sided at least. I think Nisha just one-upping Paparazzi here. You'll find the fast level 6 now. Start putting pressure on him with the Astral Steps.
Yep, still will be pretty difficult to get that kill. I mean, one benefit you do have is the Aether Remnant out of phase shift without the blink.
Yeah.
Get that stun relatively reliably. Zai has to pop the Ghost Shroud.
Protecting himself from getting stunned by Bounty Hunter. Obviously now that that stun is on Shadow Walk, he knows for a fact that he's not going to be controlled up here by anything else than Gaze as long as his Shroud's running, so...
6-minute rune coming up.
Walk it off.
You can see Liquid trying to collapse a bit. Illusory Orb is used. Paparazzi might have to go to it, and that means the Illusion, which is on top, will go to Nisha eventually, but they're going to try to get the kill first on the Paparazzi. Fortune's End going to be dodged. Looks like he's going to be fine. Nisha will snag the rune. Eventually.
Funny little moment. Nisha tried to deny the range creep, but Boxy came in the Pavis. So it didn't take any damage.
But yeah, back to the Oracle. Since this is not a hero we see all too often this patch, do you think it is more of a comfort pick for Insania, or is there some reason that's very good this game? I can see the Necro obviously synergizing quite well at the later stage of the game.
Nice try there. Boxy not quite enough. It's a mix. Oracle has some clear merit here. When they picked it, the heroes that they saw both Lich and Bounty Hunter. So obviously the...
Lapsing on the JT, Illuminate is there. Mickey gets credit for that last right click.
Both the offensive and defensive
and the Wisdom Root
end are really good here. You can purge off track, you can purge off the Frost Shield, and on top of that you have the Monkey King, who benefits massively from getting Oracle Cheat since he can heal during it with Jingo Mastery. And then you ended up last picking Necro. I don't know if it was premeditated at that point that picked Oracle. They were like, this could turn into a Necro game, or if it was kind of decided on a whim, but that's an added benefit to the pick on Zai here. I still feel like for the most part, Liquid will more than likely be reserving the Oracle for the Monkey King more so than the Necro. But we'll see how the fights develop. If Monkey King is strong enough to stand his own and not get in trouble, he won't need it. And at that point, it's an amazing luxury for Oracle to be able to
Aether Remnant, stun outright to Paparazzi out of the TP.
Welcome back to lane, buddy.
Indeed, half HP already. But the thing about Oracle, I'm trying to remember all the changes. Obviously, we talked about this, the Fates Edict, and BSJ brought it up. That was just a pure buff across the board. I know you don't like the design per se because there's not that double-edged aspect to it, but
Yeah.
disarming enemies without any upside to them, pretty huge. And
Disarming
Boxy
is very powerful.
gonna get caught out. Pavis applied to him right now. JT is joining the party though, and Kaka collapsing all 5 heroes from Xtreme. So you would hope that they would get that kill. My goodness.
Well, he did have a killing spree, but how often do you see 5 heroes gang a 4 in the river minute 8?
Yeah.
Quite an uncommon sight here. JT's in trouble.
Try to go on top of JT. Jingu stacks are up for Mickey, and Nisha gets the double damage, kills DY. JT's next. So Liquid still pretty happy with this overall exchange.
This is going very well for them. And I think with all the movement that's been happening around the map now, Zai, after a very rough start, has recovered way better than the Doom, or not the Doom, the Underlord. Zai is now level 6 with 3,000 net worth, whereas JT is level 4.
Yeah, that's
with
pretty rough.
2.3k. So consider this, last game JT, arguably the MVP of the game on Doom. Underlord, first of all, isn't a hero of the same nature, and this time his game is way worse, so Liquid definitely with a leg up here.
Like he does. Kaka says DY was killed. That's the first Reaper Scythe of the game, so Zai gets his first stack. And I'm sure most Liquid fans hope that's the first of many as they try to stay alive at the Berlin Major.
And Nisha, another thing to keep in mind, obviously we mentioned his early laning stage this game. Last game didn't really get an advantage against Paparazzi, but this time around Nisha is angry after game 1. You could see it on the player cams, a very animated person, very upset.
Yeah, it shows a lot of emotion.
Actually, he has become more animated, but in a positive way. I feel like we see a lot more Nisha smiles.
Yeah.
He's like a very positive dude, but obviously nobody on Liquid were happy with last game, and it's crunch time now. You know that it's time to deliver, and so far Nisha is rising to the occasion here.
You can see
Big impact.
the Fortune's End, as you talked about, dispelling the ice armor, or whatever the hell it's called these days. Raw shield. Paparazzi. The dodge out to that Fortune's End, but Insania still gets the regen.
That is a great steal.
And
Now,
they're gonna try to set this up, but the Remnant misses.
okay, that could have potentially been a kill
Yeah,
if that
could
connected,
have.
actually. So, another thing I wanted to mention about this game from a drafting perspective is one of the things I criticized Liquid for last game was their lack of ability to take initiative without the Magnus. Because Pango is more of a follow-through hero a lot of the time, but not really a true initiator. This time around, Liquid have covered their bases because now their mid-hero is a Void Spirit. He will jump in first, he will make things happen, set his team up for that follow-through. And you also have a carry who can jump with the Monkey King. So I think the problem that Liquid ran into last game, they've correctly identified what was the issue with their strategy, and this time they've covered those bases, and you're seeing the immediate results here in how much Nisha has been able to set up for his team, as well as the Monkey King winning his lane.
That's a good point.
They're going to keep rolling with the punches here. Mid tower's gone.
And you still get an off-laner that obviously not the biggest initiator, although the Shard could theoretically be used in that way,
Cool
but
item.
an aura holder and whatnot. So, yeah, the fact that they have that playmaking and gap close.
Yeah, I personally think this is a good Necro game, because the things that you're mainly worried about as Necro is overwhelming single target magic damage, or just flat out, you know, heroes that one-to-one counter you, like really strong individual silences, or Doom. Doom is one of the nightmare matchups, obviously. In this game, sure, there's a couple of silences, but the damage feels like it takes time, right?
Ghost.
Oh, they see it?
Oh, it actually hits the first actual step. There's a Remnant, and he dodges the Blood Rite. Nisha running circles around Ghost. Boxy gets credit for it, but still a successful gank from Liquid. And this is quite the different story. Game number 2.
Return play here, not really. Not with these two. Not enough damage in the tank between Puck and Bounty. Also keep in mind Licky. That's a new name. That's when you combine Mickey and Lotus. There you go. So Mickey has Lotuses, and
That's his nickname.
they
Never mind.
they have a 5-second cooldown. So if he does get ganked by Puck and Bounty, I think players are gonna over time also get better at this. Just identifying that, all right, there's a kill attempt on me. I'm gonna immediately pop the first Lotus as I take 200 damage. And then the second one you'll actually have time to use during the kill attempt to get that full value when you don't have a bigger Lotus. Yeah, they just don't have enough. So he's just gonna be farming here.
And Zai taking out a nice juicy stack as well. He went Earn into Boots of Travel, which mean, not the most uncommon item. That means he's probably not going to go for a Greaves type item, or unless he wants 2 boots, pull a Slacks. He could do that.
I feel like Pipe is still mad value on the
Oh,
Radiant
yeah.
team.
Pipe, I would assume he's going for a move.
But they could buy it on they could buy that on Caudle if they wanted to go for a big Necro.
Easy kill from Mickey. Maelstrom is online for Ghost, who's now taking out a small ancient stack for himself. But yeah, I am always so curious on the build for Necro because I feel like this hero you can build in so many different ways.
Sorry for interrupting.
There's not really any cookie cutter. I'm literally not listening to anything you say, so it's fine.
What were you
There's a
saying?
smoke from Liquid. Gonna break here very shortly if they go any further. See Ghost.
Wisely staying below here. If he takes even a step forward, he might be in trouble, but okay, that's a little bit deep from wow, okay. Well, they forced a TP at least, so that got a little bit too crazy. So yeah, I agree. I mean, Necro is always interesting. He has a lot of itemization options, and this feels like we talked about like a pipe game. It's not a necessity, but you want magic resist in this game, surely, on the hero, right? So what other items do you have? You can't buy just a casual cloak or a casual hood anymore. You can buy the cloak. You get Glimmer if you don't want it for your team necessarily.
Casual cloak is, I mean, it's more expensive, but it's far better than before.
It's definitely better. It's not really better value for gold, but it's a better slot if you have slot issues. So
I do feel, I mean, he's going Spirit Vessel first, but I feel like some passive regen normally is what you would want. Whether it be that pipe.
Curious to see what he goes for. And the other thing I was mentioning was just showcased here by the observers that Caudle has stacked 7 camps. Obviously one of the huge assets of this hero. I think Liquid had 2 or 3 times as many stacks in the jungle as Xtreme do.
Step in, DY goes down, goes. He does get the rupture on Anisha. You can see Paparazzi coming to play as well. Because there's a Reaper Scythe from the side via Zai. Very nicely done by Liquid. That's 2 stacks now for him. And yeah, Liquid really starting to roll away with this thing. 7K at 15 minutes is pretty significant.
It feels like the makings of a stomp. Tough times for Xtreme Gaming. They're not exactly victim of what happened to Liquid in the last game per se, but you look at their lineup and feel like, okay, Underlord is starved, right? He has a terrible game so far. Who is making the moves? Puck needs to combine with someone because the Liquid heroes are getting too tanky for him to solo them. So what options do you have? You have Bounty Lich. Bloodseeker needs to farm probably.
Wants to continue to punish JT. He's had a rough start to this game. Aether Remnant connect.
It's not getting any better by the looks of it.
Gets off his pit, but there's too many heroes here from Liquid. Trying to give the kill to Nisha, but Insania, as per normal, take it. Kaka, in the meantime, scouting out Zai. They can set something up on him.
Now after Vessel.
This could be rough for Zai. He's going to get ruptured. Insania is here. There's the Ghost Shroud to keep him alive a little bit longer, along with a Fate's Edict, so not taking any damage from that Chain Frost. He could just potentially turn this around now, but he doesn't have his sights quite yet. But Boundless Strike, so much mobility from the side of Liquid. Now Kaka, the Purifying Flame's going to get leapt on and brought down to his knees as Liquid punishing every move from Xtreme.
Insania was so ready for that too. He was covering him immediately. So Zai didn't really feel under pressure at any point during that exchange. They never needed to use the False Promise. Again, Xtreme Gaming now. Lack of tools to kill Necrophos, so he can play offensively as long as the Oracle is behind. It feels like even 5 of them might struggle to kill him, to be honest. Nisha with a nice attempt there, won't connect onto Paparazzi.
Zai has Reaper Scythe, so all they need is 1 stun and a little bit of burst. Now, did Nisha's not going for the Dagon. We've been seeing that a lot on the Void Spirit, but opted for the Echo Saber and then Deso to be next. DY, that's an easy one.
So much.
Eventually. What's that?
I like the Echo Deso build so much. For me, that is the golden standard build right now, to be honest, on this hero. I think since you're a universal hero and the way you scale with damage, you just get so much value out of having that Deso plus the Void Mark. Like your ability to solo kill heroes and put pressure and be that initiator that just kills the first target is way better most of the time, I would say, than the Dagon. So I'm on board with this as the approach most of the time.
Rupture onto Zai. He's just walking it off,
Reaper him
trying
here.
to chase for the Reaper, but
Whoa.
vision was lost mid, perhaps.
Let's go for an attack. I think if he could have Reapered him, that would have been good. Oh, okay.
So,
He's just gonna find
Disha gets him on the side, and there's the Reaper. Thanks to that Beans Gate.
They knew they were gonna make a move simultaneously bottom.
Yeah, good communication.
Yeah.
Liquid
Say that was
just
on purpose.
firing on all cylinders.
Disha finds JT. Going back. Don't think this is a potential kill.
Yeah, he doesn't have his Astral Steps up yet. He's only at half HP, but can him out, and there's the blind fight to the other side. They do have enough indeed. Cinder calls it incorrectly again. 11k lead for Liquid.
That's some seriously selective memory. You didn't say it a single time last game, and now we're 20 minutes into this. You can't just say again when it's the first time of the day.
So that's your timeline is day? I mean, technically speaking, you can just go back years if you want.
This is the secret to a happy life, Shannon. Low expectations. Everything is a positive surprise. You're having a good day. That already is nice.
I feel like my expectations are very low to begin with, sitting next to you.
Yeah, but it's not really coming across that way, is it?
A grumpy old man. Kaka stalking
You
Zai.
just need to have a more positive and simple outlook.
Yeah.
Starting point.
Spirit Vessel on the Kaka as he shows himself. The amount of damage he's taking from one Spirit Vessel. Pretty rough stuff. Zai is tracked. I mean, that's one avenue for Xtreme to get back in this game, of course, is the Bounty Hunter, who's level 6 at 19 minutes, by the way.
But where is the damage? That's still going to be my...
Yeah.
That's my big question, because I can see from a theoretical standpoint what Xtreme Gaming can do if they find the track kills, but when Zai gets this pipe, like, look at that stat right there. That's pretty telling. Nisha has done almost as much damage as the enemy team combined.
And now he has the finished pipe, so going to be even more difficult to kill.
It's spooky. He's done more damage than the top 3 enemies. So... Now another Echo Saber will be coming out from Mickey as Echo BKB after disassembling and making that again. And yeah, honestly, I feel like they can take any objective they want on the map right now. If they identify what position they're in, what the game state is, they can get both Tormentors, and they will immediately make the call to steal this. I think great play calling here from them, just recognizing they are unstoppable as long as they're together as 5. They will take this, probably take the bot tier 2 tower and go for their own Tormentor as well. Then they can weave that in with the 21-minute Wisdom runes.
All right.
And suddenly you've just...
So the Reign of Destiny was the old Ags, and of course it was nerfed a bit to fit the shard, but it wasn't enough. Like, if you take the 4,200 gold that it cost before and convert that into 1,400, it's better value.
I think this is such a good shard.
Super good.
Personally. Like... Obviously, you're not always going to get full value out of it, but just the fact that you can put this in a big area, and you know that that area you're just waste. It's kind of like, think of it like a Mars arena for protection, right? If the enemy team is fighting in it, you're slowly doing Radiance-based damage to them, you're heal amping your entire team, and you're healing them, and you combine that with other heroes that heal, such as Monkey King and the Necrophos, getting that heal amp. It's just so
well, it's not only that,
very
but like,
synergistic.
just from a positional standpoint, you have obviously Wukong's command, and the enemy team wants to be sitting in an area. Obviously, you have the Chain Frost, you have Coil to keep people in place, Rupture, you don't want to run away, so a lot of immobile targets. I think it's going to be very valuable as they now go for their own Tormentor. It's the Reign of Destiny.
Oh yeah, they also have the Coddle heal. We didn't mention that one, so that one also synergizes with Reign of Destiny. I mean, I'll be honest.
Oh hell yeah!
This feels like a game.
Wait, he's top net worth. That means basically everybody else other than Void Spirit has a shard, right?
Yeah, Coddle bought his own.
Wow.
No, wait, Coddle was rolling against him.
Oh, it was Coddle and...
Because
wait,
the shard is 1,400.
Yeah, but Necro's top net worth.
Yeah, because he just got 1,400.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it just adds...
Yeah, so he was just in 3rd a moment ago.
Okay, thanks, Tormentor. You've made Zai top net worth.
And this feels like a game where Liquid can take Roche and go high ground. I genuinely think they could look for a Rex push minute 25. They could even go without the Aegis if they want to. I still think Xtreme Gaming will be struggling to kill their front line. And both Mickey and Necro can probably just stand there and hit the tower. As long as the protection is safe, the Coddle and the Oracle, if they're in a safe position with sentries covering them from the Bounty Hunter initiation and from the Puck, you can probably keep this push going. Let's see what the play call is from Liquid.
Putting that Deso to good use. Buildings just melt. Zai's gonna get tracked, and of course, like we said, he got that shard, so Deathseeker now has been changed so
That
you
feels
become
so good, that
a
spell.
Death Pulse. So you can use it as
cool
a
idea.
pseudo Blink Dagger, if you will.
I think it's my new favorite.
It's cool.
It's got to be one of our shared favorites of
Yeah,
this patch. I think both of us love this shard.
I love it.
By design, it's really
Well,
fun.
I also love Centaur Shard, or Ags, I guess, but I know that's garbage, right? But this one's actually good.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's a cool concept, and it's good. They find bounty.
Oh, look at
Besides,
too.
all right, why not? Hey,
See you later.
Hey, he needs those stacks, you know? He's got,
Guess so.
he's got 4 stacks now. That's 12 HP regen, 6 mana a second.
Feels a little bit unnecessary if you were planning a high ground push here. I think you save that Reaper because, like, sure the stack is nice and all, but
Okay. Well, he knew that Nisha was going to pop his BKB for literally no reason, so they got to wait that out anyway. So,
God, his
Reaper
camera
Cycle will be
shot
available.
is
Boundless
here.
strike onto 2. And okay. Gonna go for DY, who's just going to TP out. All right, so a whole lot of nothing.
He's just camera after he popped.
I did not. What was
The face of absolute. It's just,
the any reaction?
yeah, it was a funny reaction. Like, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the way he was just like, oh, his eyes just told the story. Like, wow, what the hell am I doing? But there's a lot of margin for error right now for Liquid.
Yes.
Just crushing through the map. Very one-sided affair. Extreme Gaming. Is there any sort of item that can solve this is what I'm thinking. Like, Puck, do you buy Dragon here? He has Kaya.
Well, I do feel like they need a little bit more burst to be able to get some track
That's what
kills,
it feels
right?
like, right? Like, you have to be able to kill somebody, and the only targets available to you are probably Oracle and Caudle. So first of all, you need to find them, then you need to get the jump, and you need to kill them fast.
UI will be dying again. No. Won't live this time.
Well, his name is Die. So,
That's true. Do we know that it's supposed to be pronounced DY?
we don't technically know that, do we?
I mean, maybe we just switch it to Die. It's just easier.
There's a CSGO player whose name is SDY, and it's just for some Die Young.
Oh boy, Heel of Destiny has been placed for literally no reason, just because he wants to make sure it works. Paparazzi gets away with half HP.
Very pretty spell.
It is. It has a nice color scheme, I think. Taka has to be careful trying to leech some ancient XP. Yeah, this is a definite rough one for him and for Xtreme. They're going to smoke up. Like you said, they just need to get a try. I mean, they have 4 kills, and I don't believe any of them were tracked. These were probably in the laning stage.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Taka being found out, so no more track kills because he won't be able to get the spell off. But Coil, okay, gets the Caudle. That will stay alive for now. Mickey pops the BKB along with the Wukong's command. DY getting the stun onto Insania. And Boxy, he's the one taking a lot of damage from Ghost. False Promise keeps Boxy alive for the time being. Already 2 dead for Xtreme. Boxy will live thanks to the Reign of Destiny. Puck dies. Despite the Reign of Destiny. 3 dead for Xtreme. 26-4. See a replay as this game has just turned out.
Let's count
to be an
spells on
absolute
Caudle.
shocking.
Coil, Bloodseeker pounding into him for like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. And quite the heal strat.
Punk silence? No? Okay, so they're actually just auto-attacking him, but he's tanking 2 heroes for a good, I want to say a good 10 seconds there in Reign of Destiny with 1 or 2 Illuminates and some Oracle heals, and he survived. Those were the 2 biggest enemy cores trying to kill the 4, and they failed.
Bringing JT back inside the barracks. He barely fits inside with that thick, juicy body. He dies after placing the Pit of Malice. This will be a full center axe. Crimson makes it a little bit more annoying to take.
Well,
And they're just going to call it GG, understandably so. This was a spanking. So Liquid, I mean, game 1 wasn't great for them. Obviously, we talked about that ad nauseum. This game, they...
hell
What was
yeah.
that empty chair? The empty chair is very happy that Liquid has won.
Maybe there was some symbolism there that that chair could have actually been empty for the last 10 minutes and they still would have won. It was the 4 players plus chair. Insania got up immediately and he was like, I didn't even need to be here for this game.
That sounds like a great
Well
video.
played. MVP for me for the game, clearly chair number 5. I think it
Bye.